Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Renzo.
My name is Mao.
And my name is Poch.
And we are Something Something Movies, and welcome to the Something Something Movies official Avengers Infinity War post-film discussion and overall assessment, overall reaction, because it is possibly the most talked about movie in a long, long time. It's been 10 years in the making, so many films leading up to it, and people have just been talking about it nonstop. And it's about time that ya boys do it and have our turn.
Yeah, for sure. And spoilers coming ahead, because with the movie this big, I don't think we can even talk about it without getting into some spoiler territory. So this is your warning right now, spoilers, okay? Because we're going to get really in-depth into it. Starting with just general impressions, guys. What do you think?
All right, so I'm going to have you take it first now. What did you think?
I really loved it. I guess it's, all the movies from the past 10 years coming together for this movie. It was like that magic again that I felt from the first Avengers, seeing the first 6 guys come together.
Right.
Like seeing that with all the Phase 2, Phase 3, all those guys now again together. I felt like the magic was back, so I really liked it.
Nice. I hated it. I'm kidding. it was really good. I haven't felt this excited in a while coming into this movie, because again, you said 10 years in the making, and this movie is unheard of because it rewarded everyone that's seen everything, and for Marvel to stay true to their vision from 2008 with just Iron Man and Nick Fury with an idea to have the Avengers Initiative, it was really good. So I mean, for me, it was good. General impressions, yeah, good.
Definitely.
How about you?
I'm brought back to that moment. When was that? Was that after the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, when
Nick Fury was first approached Tony? Was that?
That was the first Iron Man. Thor's hammer, I think, was in the.
Yeah, there you go. It's just looking back at that moment and then taking it to now with Avengers Infinity War and everything that happened and the weight of everything and seeing everything come together and executed so beautifully. I was just absolutely blown away.
Right.
I mean, first impressions, the crowd that amassed during the opening night screenings, because I got to watch it opening night in fear of spoilers mostly, not because I was rushing, because I did not want to get spoiled, but then the mood was just so electric.
Yeah, in the air, it's just you felt it.
As soon as you saw the Marvel Entertainment logo show up in the cinema, everyone just you could hear people literally kind of going, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Exactly. And so when everything happened for the first time and seeing everything, it was almost like sensory overload.
Yeah.
Like I could not even handle some of the images happening.
Because everyone was on screen at one point. You're like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah. You're trying to eat your popcorn at the same time.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss anything. It's happening, guys. And I mean, a lot of movies have tried doing the Marvel cinematic formula. You have the Fast and Furious cinematic universe.
Which is, just as good if you ask me, but that's another discussion.
It's right there. Yeah, we should have a Fast and Furious
definitely.
But Marvel, they hit it right on the button, because this movie just did everything right, I think. They built up every character. I mean, I've seen the Marvel movies, so I don't know what's it like watching this movie with no context at all. Again, I think the best review of it was from this guy that didn't see anything. He said it was like he took a test he didn't study for. He was just like, who are these characters? Who are they?
Or it's like watching the finale of some awesome series that you did not watch any episode of.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. It felt like, halfway through the movie, it almost felt like it was a series. Because then, the movies that all came out and you were introduced to these characters, it really did feel like some epic season finale to some TV show that everybody's been following for the past decade. And I feel like that's the vibe everyone else got as well.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
All right, so first impressions aside, we are here to talk more in depth about the movie and, of course, the repercussions that are to follow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, spoiler alert, folks, we did warn you already. The movie did end on quite a depressing note.
What a downer.
Absolute downer. It was one of those things where you come into the movie excited, a little worried, and you come out of the movie just wanting to lie down for the next couple of days.
It ended like a Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah.
It was just playing credits. I think Times New Roman. They didn't even try to make it.
They said that was the first Marvel movie that didn't have a really cinematic credits. All the other ones had big graphics.
Yeah, exactly.
Names come up and shows all the characters. This is the first one where it was just black, and then
just
credits roll.
Yeah.
Because they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew what they did.
I don't know about you, but when the scenes we're talking about, like when everyone started fading, the feeling was like, wait, is this really happening? Like, I honestly felt like I was in disbelief in my head, like, no, something's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden you see Thanos smiling, and then it's like, whoa, bold.
Just to recap, Thanos wins.
Thanos
in
wins.
Infinity War, he sets out to get the Infinity Stones, snap his finger, and wipe out half of all existence, and he does.
He does.
And that is how the movie ends. That is how Infinity War ends. All this build-up just to see, for the first time, the bad guy win.
Exactly.
And
that's saying a lot.
It leaves a weird feeling in your
Yeah.
stomach, and your head, and your heart, and it's just... It took a while to process. I mean, I want to know, how did you guys... How was it walking out of the cinema on the ride home after Infinity War? Because I know me and my friends, we were just silent.
Yeah. Well, first it's like, not just you, but the rest of the audience in the cinema. Like, once the credits hit, you can hear the silence. Everyone is just like
deflating.
You know?
Are you serious?
Like, it's super silent because everyone, like, how do you even process all those characters dying, right?
So Black Panther just came out and they just killed him off right there. I was like, really?
Dude.
Oh, jeez. But, I mean, you have to be a little skeptical because, you know, some movies are green-lit, but the bold choice, for me, it took me an hour to leave the cinema because me and my buddies were just, like, talking, like, is this really happening? Like, really? Like, we got into spoiler territory. We even tried, like, quoting, like, comic books, and, yep, they went with it. All right, sure.
Yeah.
The bad guy wins for once.
And just as a final FU from Marvel, if you take a look at the end credits all the way to the end, it does say Thanos will return.
I know, right?
And that brings out, like, a discussion that we had a while ago. Who was the real main character of this movie? And in the end credits, it was Thanos. Yeah. Because this is the most fleshed out Marvel villain ever.
Yeah.
I even think he's up. He even goes above Killmonger in some way because you kind of as demented and as sick he is in the head. You kind of he makes sense. And he has the will to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this entire time, and that's why it felt weird because I feel like I've identified what everyone was feeling because on one hand, you saw so many of your favorite heroes disappear into dust and die, but at the same time, there's this strange satisfaction watching a character who is just set out to do what he needs to do, what he believes is his absolute purpose to do, and what he justifies himself to do,
right?
And you see him do it.
Exactly.
You see him wipe out half the universe. You see him watch the sunrise on a grateful universe, and it's just strange because it's like it almost feels kind of good.
Like a part of you feels like, what if he was right? You know, like
we needed this.
I know that this
is. I
know that this is really bad that all these people died, but I kind of want to see, was he right? Like in this new world, is it actually was he actually successful in what he wanted to do?
And I think it's a good testament to what Marvel has been doing as of late with their villains. Take a look at Black Panther, as you said, Killmonger. Take a look at
Vulture.
Homecoming, Vulture.
That was good.
Their motivations were so rational. Vulture just wanted to provide for his family.
Exactly.
After getting screwed over by was it Stark?
Government?
By the government? Was it Stark Industries?
It was Stark Industries.
Yeah, it got screwed over by Stark Industries, and so you almost kind of rooted for him. If you didn't root for him, you understood where he was coming from. Killmonger, this is a man who was shunned by his own people and denied this paradise that he felt rightfully was his. And so you kind of felt that, okay, it does make sense. And it's the same with Thanos. This is a guy who watched his planet get decimated and demolished after he knew, or like what he believed was the right thing to do after they ignored him. And he even went on to do the same thing for other planets when he used Gamora's home planet as an example. He said that ever since I did what I did, babies have known nothing but full bellies and happiness. And it's just like, that's weird because it's like, it sounds great, but it does make sense. And so when you have an antagonist as properly fleshed out and as well written as Thanos, you have a movie that is such a conflict, and it's just beautiful to see played out.
And I believe that a good superhero is just as good as his villain, and they just complement each other. And he was the big bad guy to bring the Avengers together because when he stepped on screen, you felt nervous for every character that went toe to toe with him. Even the first 10 minutes. Okay, spoiler. Loki dies.
Yeah.
And that's how big of a threat he is. He went toe to toe with the Hulk, and the Hulk lost.
Yeah.
So whenever he comes on screen, you get a little nervous. You're like, oh, and he was the first villain to actually, in the Marvel universe for me, that posed a real threat every time he was on screen. I mean, yeah, you have Ronan the Accuser, and you have those dark elves from like the Thor, the Dark World. But like you know, like okay,
they're gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But when Thanos, like, okay, all bets are off. Like, we'll see what happens. So. Yeah, for me, just this kind of villain that brings that unpredictability as well as that threat.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, and if the Avengers do succeed, I don't know, who knows. If they do succeed, it's all the more satisfying. It's not like some bad guy that just wants to shoot lights up in New York and just be like, oh, I'm gonna just take over the world and not really have fleshed out motivations. Thanos, so it's good.
Like again, the first Avengers, it was like Loki was really good, but he needed the whole Chitauri army and all that. And a lot of times villains need like a lot of backup, and they bring in other aliens or armies to help them. But like Thanos, even without
I bet he could have done it himself.
He's super powerful. And again, I think that what we said, how really the villains make the movie, right? A good villain brings out the best in the hero. And brings out the best story, and I think that's what Marvel has over all the other superhero companies like DC and all that. Like for DC, the best movie has to be The Dark Knight because the Joker was so strong.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like Marvel's really getting that locked down. The formula for getting a really good fleshed out villain, which is why they're hitting a new level in their cinematic storytelling.
I just have to bring this up that Marvel is actually doing dark and gritty better than DC.
Yeah,
and it's been brought up, right?
Yeah, it is.
And this movie was dark and gritty, but there are still some funny moments. Mm-hmm. But for me, this movie felt desperate. Like all the heroes were just trying to scramble and trying to do something. Yeah. That the inevitable was about to happen. I mean, I have yet to watch it again, but I think what they were trying to do was just really, just pressure them to the point of them breaking.
Again, it brought out a different side to the heroes that you don't ever get to see.
And you saw Captain America, he didn't know what to do. Like at the end, he was like, we lost.
Yeah. And it's just, and you see that hopelessness in his eyes. And I feel like that's what this movie also did, right? The highs and lows were placed in such perfect moments wherein nothing felt cheap, nothing felt too early, nothing felt too late. It all felt like it happened at the exact right time. And I feel like that's what really drove the drama home even further. And another point that I want to bring up actually is like when you guys mentioned Loki, I feel like he deserves a special shout out because this is a character who has been fleshed out
so good
through so many movies, who has seen his alignments shift and his allegiances shift, and he went out trying to kill Thanos.
Yeah, he went out as a hero.
Yeah.
That guy went out as a hero.
And that guy went out as a hero, and I feel like when everybody mentions Loki's death, and I feel like, I'm pretty sure you guys feel the same way,
Goosebumps.
Nobody felt like it was cheap. Like he died and everyone was sad, but it felt like his story did come to a close. Yeah. He completely proved himself to be a good guy. And it's just, all I can say to that is, brother, I promise the sun will shine on us again. And then it just hurts. It just hurts. It hurts. Okay. So Loki, this is we're gonna miss you.
We're talking deaths now.
Yeah.
I feel like Gamora was really sad because I didn't know that they were gonna go that far. You see this giant sobbing, and you think that it's because he can't get the stone because he loves no one. But in my heart, I'm like, oh shit, is he really gonna do it? He has to throw someone he loves, and she even made that desperate attempt to kill herself. Make that sacrifice, and it didn't happen.
That was dark.
That was
super dark. She was literally like, I just need to kill myself.
Yeah,
but then, nope.
And then you see that slow motion fall, and you're like, wow, what this man would go through such length.
Into the RuPaul's Drag Race death drop.
They actually showed the body on the ground.
Oh god.
Like, they didn't just like let her fade into black or anything.
Yeah, no, they just did.
I do want to ask you guys, there have been some mixed reactions to Thanos Cry. There are people who are like, I don't want to see Thanos cry, it's supposed to be a big bad guy. But I'm here thinking, that was so integral to his character. You realize this is a guy with real connections and real deep care and love, whether it even if it is a toxic kind of love, you know that this is a man who is not just some brainless robot killer who wants to destroy all humans and destroy all life.
Right.
He has a goal, and as we mentioned that a while ago, and I feel like that scene in particular was just so beautifully done.
Yeah.
And seeing him just break down and cry, you know this is a man who has had to, well, he's not even a man, this is a being, a titan, who has had to also sacrifice and make really difficult decisions to get what he wants. And so at the end of the day, you're like, how is he different from the heroes that we follow?
Well, because for me, I feel like the way you think about it, bad guys should just be all bad and but the way Marvel does it, they want a bad guy to be relatable. Because obviously you'd hate him more if you just let me just throw her off
with no remorse.
No remorse. But here they actually fleshed out his character and they made him more relatable. It's because that's how you relate to a bad guy and that's how you know his motive. And I feel like that's what Marvel got right, because you know a lot of Marvel villains that you kind of forget their names, you just know they're just a big bad guy. But you'll forever know Thanos as this guy that actually loved someone. And he's willing to go in some I don't even know what word describes that, to throw your daughter off a freaking cliff.
Again, I think that why it worked so well is because the whole I feel like one of the main themes of the movie was sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to save the universe? So Star-Lord had to decide if he was going to sacrifice Gamora.
Right.
Gamora had to think about sacrificing herself.
Or sacrificing her sister to not give up.
And Scarlet Witch had to think about sacrificing Vision. So it's all about what are you willing to sacrifice. So I feel like Thanos having to make that decision as well, it again blurred the line between, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy? Because it's all relatable, you know. If you're willing to sacrifice this one thing to save many, you know.
Right, exactly.
And we were talking about how in the first 10 minutes he kills Loki, he beats the crap out of the Hulk. And these are all effective tactics to make him look scary. But what people probably don't pick up on immediately is that if you show a scene where you see Thanos willing to sacrifice the only thing that he loves probably in the entire universe just to get what he wants, that makes him even scarier. Because then you know he'll stop at nothing. If he's willing to kill his own daughter, he doesn't give a shit about Iron Man. He's going to squash Spider-Man like a fly, and he's going to just destroy absolutely anything to get what he wants.
But the thing there is that he just doesn't kill everyone. In a weird way, I feel like he's kind of just. Because he just disappeared. Like, he could have killed Peter Quill, he could have killed everyone on Titan, but he chose not to.
Like
he
Thor, he could have killed Thor.
He could have killed Thor with the snap, but he didn't. That's why it's so weird, because with that snap of finger, he could have just killed all the Avengers, but he didn't. So that's why I'm so interested to know more about his motives and more of his ideologies, his religion, I don't know. We'll see.
His political affiliations.
Yeah, we'll see.
He does that thing where, he says, it's random.
Yeah.
Right? He's not going to pick and choose who gets to survive.
Well, he picked Phase 2.
He pays Tuesday.
The director
They're
says
dead.
that.
But then
That's true.
Also his line to Tony Stark when he stabbed him and he said, "You have my respect, Stark. I hope people will remember you." And it's just so strange seeing that, because again, this is a man who you're not used to, a villain.
I feel like at that moment he saw himself in Tony Stark, because he saw, like what Mao said, sacrifice. Tony Stark is going to sacrifice Peter Potts. Peter Parker, but he's trying to say Peter Parker, obviously. But he's willing to go the lengths, and I feel like we'll get into theories later, but he was willing to go to big lengths, and I feel like they have a connection with each other. And like Thanos, you've been living in my brain for the longest time, because
you're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, that's probably some seeds of Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah. There you go. Now that we've gotten through, of course, Thanos, the main character of this film, and the overall themes of sacrifice, as Mal pointed out, I do want to point out some of your favorite parts of the film. Let's lighten things up a bit, because it's getting really sad. So, again, just to reiterate, Avengers Infinity War, while it ends on a very sad note, it is still just such a fun movie.
It's so good!
Oh my, it's such an entertaining movie. And we all felt like we were 11 years old again, playing with our toys. Let's start with you, Mal. What was your favorite part of the film?
favorite part of the film, probably Spider-Man with his new costume, the Iron Spider.
Nice.
When the legs
came out.
came out,
That was so good.
I really like that part because like I'm a super big Spider-Man fan. So to see that happen, like just something from the comic books jumping out on the screen that you didn't expect to see. So little surprises like that. I'll try to think of more. But.
For me, it was the lines in the movie. There was this funny line with Peter Dinklage, like, you will die. Yeah, so something else. Stop living. Yeah, that's
what killing you means. Yeah.
And just the lines are so funny, like the banter between like when Thor came back to Wakanda. I see you've copied my beard.
Yeah,
like those lines.
The whole Star-Lord and Thor. Star-Lord being
are you mocking? No, sir.
I personally love. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. I was just like.
One of the best lines for me is, "Where's Gamora?
I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?"
I'm like, oh man, Batista, so good as Rex.
And another underrated line was when, "Which master do you serve? Which master do I serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus?"
It was great, and this is what I was scared of because it was the Russo brothers, and all these characters were fleshed out with different directors.
Yeah.
But I feel like they did them justice. Like the Guardians movie, it felt like I was watching a Guardians movie. Thor, it felt like I was watching Thor Ragnarok again because that's when I think Thor Ragnarok was the best Thor ever that got his personality. Yeah. So good job Russo brothers because you guys respected each character, especially with the interactions. I felt like nobody shined on anyone as much. But I do have a personal MVP. I don't know if you guys have like an MVP of the movie.
Well, let's get to that in a bit. But my personal favorite scene in the movie, I have two. One is influenced by my heart, and another is influenced just because of how freaking cool it was.
Okay.
The coolest part of the movie was when Thor arrives with Stormbreaker and just destroys everybody, and he jumps up and he's just like.
I was playing Immigrant Song in my head because of Thor Ragnarok.
Did the audience cheer?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so sorry to the people who watched Robinson's Magnolia because I stood up from my seat and I applauded and I realized what I did and I sat down. But the other favorite moment that is influenced by my heart was Captain America's first appearance when he shows up.
Okay, I kind of got goosebumps.
Got the facial hair. I think it's the first time I heard the Beatles when I looked into his eyes and into his beard. It's just a glorious looking guy. Anyway,
I got my favorite scene after.
Okay, how about you?
Okay, my favorite scene was when the group of Iron Man almost got the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos. We got to see the teamwork there that if each of them just played their part, they can actually
take Thanos
down, and they almost had...
Who are you blaming, sir? Who are you blaming? I will defend him.
Go. I'm ready for this.
Shall we start the debate?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay, so Star-Lord couldn't wait for the Infinity Gauntlet to be taken off just like 5 more seconds.
Not even.
It was
literally out of his hand.
Okay.
And he just had to leave his face.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I know like people say Thor had a bad day. Because he just saw his brother get killed. That's why he was gonna get half his people as well. But like he had the choice of killing Gamora, and then he realized Gamora, the love of his life, is dead. And you know who I blame? I blame Nebula. Because she was the one that said, he has the Infinity Stone, and Gamora's not anywhere to be seen. I blame Gamora. I blame Nebula. Like, because Peter, he wears a heart on his shoulder. He is the most human. Who wouldn't react that way, knowing that this guy just killed the love of your life?
I wouldn't personally blame anybody, but I'm with you with rationalizing Star-Lord's actions, because he did allude to it earlier on in the movie, where he said, that 50% of me that's stupid, that's my human side. That's 100% of you. So he was already referencing the fact that he is still human, and he is still irrational and has the capacity to be completely idiotic in a sense. And I believe the Guardians have given that vibe off in their previous movies. They're reckless. They underestimate their enemies all the time. That's why they always get their asses kicked and they always come back in some crazy way. But this time, the rest of the Guardians weren't there to actually keep him in check. And this is the first time that we saw Peter driven over the edge. I mean, he when he found out that his mom was killed by his dad.
Oh, he just went.
He went ham, so it's totally understandable that he acted that way.
And again, it's not just Star-Lord who did that, but Drax also.
Exactly.
He rushed forward to fight Thanos because Thanos destroyed his family and his homeworld as well. So it's not only Star-Lord who kind of overreacts, but people like Drax also who have something against Thanos.
It's funny. Then he turned into cubes.
That was so gross.
That was so grossed out.
I was like,
and then when was that Mantis turned into like
I was like,
curly fries.
Are they gonna be that forever?
Yeah, and then they came back. I'm like. Probably Drax going through his head. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy that.
It was so frustrating because I was sitting next to a friend of mine who hadn't seen it yet, and when it happened, she literally went, "Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Can you please tell me if he's dead?" I'm like, "Okay, watch the fucking movie. That's literally happening right now." But then, so we have our favorite scenes, and we did mention all of the highlights of the film.
Right.
As Poch said, movie MVPs.
Yeah.
Let's start with you.
Well, I don't think it's. Yeah, exactly. Come on, it's Thor.
It's Thor. Thor's the MVP.
He was the only one that actually did some damage to Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it was Thor.
Yeah.
And he was
hard carry.
Exactly, and he was having the worst day. Half of his people died.
Yeah.
His brother died in front of him. He still had the power to withstand a fucking sun. A star. Jesus Christ, come on. It's Thor.
Do you have a different MVP, Mel?
Okay, let's take out Thor. He's too OP.
Who's your number 2 MVP?
Alright, that's a good question. Might take a second to think about that because Thor's pretty hard to top.
I would say MVP for me personally.
Let's say Steve Rogers.
No, I'm gonna say Tony Stark.
Okay, yeah,
Iron Man.
I'm down with that. Yeah, it's good.
Dude, that scene wherein everyone else was down for the count and Thanos. Also, what an awesome scene! Thanos literally ripping a moon
to throw
it down. That was absolutely insane. And then Iron Man dodging out of the way and then using the most hard-hitting Iron Man punches and kicks that I've seen in forever at Thanos and causing him to bleed.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I haven't found Iron Man cool in forever because he's been in so many movies, kind of stale. But then seeing him in that scene, wow.
Favorite line of his, if you throw a moon at me again, I'll piss off. Something like that. Wow.
That is great. Tony Stark, a close second, but I still do believe Thor. I really feel like he got a great redemption arc in this film, and it paid off.
For me, close second for me, Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. He was good. I feel like we're gonna appreciate what he did once Infinity War 2 comes out, and he was doing the whole I gotta look in the future, and come on, we does that move, and he turned into freaking Vishnu.
Zenyatta. It was just super Zenyatta. Experience tranquility. It was so cool, and his hand movements. I don't know how he makes him look so cool.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch actually had to learn finger tutting. In the first movie.
He's so good.
Yeah, so
Step
good.
up.
Yeah, goddamn, he was so good. Come on, Doctor Strange, and he was pretty smart about everything. I feel like we're just not seeing it now because he said now we're at the end game. Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, that's what people have said. That
Taylor Swift is probably really pissed off. How dare they copy my song?
I gotta say though, for maybe a close third MVP, just to kind of switch things up. What's his name? The Maw. The the Warlock, child of Thanos.
Oh jeez, that was him.
He was Squidward. Let's call him Squidward.
Yeah,
Squidward was so powerful. He was sick. That was awesome. His entire first fight scene with Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
He was a threat.
He was legit a threat, and he technically won that because he got Doctor Strange up on the ship.
Yeah.
And so shouts out to him, and also shouts out to Peter Parker for watching Aliens. And what to do.
All the references. Because Peter Parker, for me, would be a close second, third.
Yeah.
He was pretty smart.
And he actually came up with a lot of the strategies on how to save a bunch of them.
And then when everyone was knocked out for the count, when the moon came down crashing, he was saving everyone.
And he used his legs to save matches.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but whatever. I'm still saving you. Peter Parker.
And again, I think a lot of really good humor parts came from Peter Parker also.
True.
Just seeing how young he is compared to the rest of the Avengers.
Exactly.
The whole homecoming, he's wanting to be an Avenger, and we see how he's not ready, and then finally becoming part of the Avengers. Just seeing him being the new guy and the young kid, it's a really good contrast.
Exactly.
Between the experienced guys and then now him with his fresh perspective, and his eyes are just filled with wonder.
And he's still living the dream.
Yeah.
Didn't he I've dubbed you?
Yeah, he really dubbed him. And he was so happy.
He's so happy.
That was great.
Nice.
Okay, so now that we got MVPs out of the way, let's go the other direction of the spectrum. let's talk about LVPs, the least valuable players of Avengers Infinity War. Let's start with you, Poch.
Oh jeez. Can you start with Mal? Because I feel like he's gonna say Peter.
Wait,
Quill.
I'm thinking. No.
I have one.
Okay, you go first.
Vision, what the hell, dude?
Shit!
Vision! What?
You were so powerful in Age of
Right?
Ultron, and I got stabbed like.
I mean, he did mention that his weapon was especially
Special weapon, yeah.
special weapon that prevented him from phasing. But I think 80% of the movie he was being thrown around.
Yeah.
He's
Like, what a jobber, right?
It's
Jeez.
super job squad.
Like, I mean, even when he thought he was fighting, then the dude deflected it, and when they were fighting him and Scarlet,
Yeah.
and Scarlet had to save him. Like, god damn. And, okay, props to Vision for, like, thinking ahead, like, yo, if Steve Rogers saved $1 million by sacrificing himself,
Yeah, just
why can't I?
Yeah.
So, for me, the least valuable player for me is Scarlet Witch. I know she's powerful as hell, but she could have just ended it right away. You know,
Oh, okay.
Well, technically, she did do what she was supposed to do.
she did, but it took too long. If she just did it beforehand,
Right,
like,
she did it
yeah.
before he got the time. Stone.
Exactly. Like, I'm saying.
But then that's considering her comic book level of power.
Mhm.
Maybe she's a little bit watered down here in the MCU.
True.
Because I mean, as everybody knows, Scarlet Witch in her comic form is the most powerful
Yeah.
mutant, I believe.
For
or-
me, because like she was able to, you know, with one hand like hold down Thanos and the other hand to destroy the Infinity Stone. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
she's pretty overpowered. She's just, I think she was pulling her punches. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she's holding back.
But also, I mean, it is true to her character because in the previous movies she was terrified of using her powers, and she
Sure.
was made
That's
to
true.
feel like a monster, and she didn't want to fully use that because if she
When a
was-
mad titan is destroying the world, I feel like he could go until like.
I mean,
that's why
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's a very like whatever. Because I know you picked Vision already. I'm
yeah.
gonna go with like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, but she had to go through some shit, dude.
She
She had
did.
to go through some shit in that movie.
She
That's
did.
another person who had to sacrifice a lot, and for nothing. But
And
we'll
for
get to-
nothing, right? They just ended up killing Vision.
Yeah.
Again, she had to watch the love of her life die
Died
twice.
But we'll get to that. How
Yeah.
about you, Mal? LVP.
My LVP is gonna be the Hulk.
You mean
Was
the
he
guy
even
that
in
never
the
showed
movie?
up?
He was in the movie?
They're building him up. They're building him up.
Yeah, because the Hulk, he
Wait, the Hulk or Bruce Banner? Because Bruce Banner
No,
is
both.
the Hulk.
Both.
Oh, both.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, of course, Bruce Banner, LVP, because he couldn't Hulk out when they needed it the
True.
most, right? And even in his Hulkbuster, the Hulkbuster was really like weak.
Yeah, for some
compared
reason they
to last
yeah,
one,
exactly.
I don't think you know how to use it.
Oh, that makes
That's the
sense.
thing, Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Like,
it's Star
he
technology.
could have done a lot more. You know, even with his brains and everything like that.
Mhm.
But instead, he was Bruce Banner trying to be the Hulk,
Shut up.
but
Ah!
not being able
Ah!
to. Right? Because if he couldn't be Hulk, he could have just kind of used his brains more and stuff. Because he's really smart.
Right.
But he still tried to be the Hulk,
Yeah.
which
Makes sense.
he failed at, and Hulk didn't want to come out. So, least valuable player for me is the Hulk / Bruce Banner.
Which completely makes sense. He spent the first 10 minutes getting beaten up and the rest of the movie saying no and not being there.
You think he was just like, oh shit, I'm beaten. I don't want to get back. Like, it's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
that's what they said. is
Performance
that,
anxiety?
Yeah.
Since the Hulk kind of has the mind of a child, he was like shamed after he lost. Yeah, yeah.
Actually,
That's what I was
So the
thinking.
Hulk was like Dumbo at Bruce Banner.
Yeah, that's a good That's a good way of putting it.
No, that's
I'm
the
not
line.
coming out anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not doing.
I'm
shit
not.
anymore. Yeah.
That hurt me.
Okay, so Hulk, Vision, Scarlet Witch as our LVPs, and now let's move on to another mood shift.
Oh god.
The saddest
We're
moments
doing
of
this.
Infinity
We're
War.
really doing
We're
this.
really doing this. Does anyone want to start?
Okay, I'm not going to start, but I'm just going to say what's pretty sad
Yeah.
is when Falcon died. Because nobody noticed. He's just like, oh yeah. He's just being like,
Falcon died?
like he faded, right?
I saw the movie twice and I didn't realize.
You see? Exactly! God damn, Rhodey was looking for him. He's like, where you at? And he just, because he faded, he was under the rubble and stuff, then he just faded. Nobody even saw him fade. He's just like, yeah.
He deserves
did-
better.
He deserved better. That's why I'm like,
Better,
that's pretty freaking sad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, goddamn. See, you didn't even
It's
notice.
embarrassing. How about you, Mal?
I mean,
Saddest
that's
moment.
one of the things, but
Okay.
I got
Definitely Spider-Man disappearing.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Partly because he's one of my favorites, but like as I was watching it, everyone started disappearing, and I was like, "Please, just not Spider-Man."
Oh,
Not
God.
Spider-Man.
Couldn't
And then,
you hear
and
it?
then he starts walking, and I'm like, "No."
I don't
And
feel
then-
too good.
Is that scene where Tony
I don't
Stark is
feel
just
so
like...
good. Yeah,
Oh,
and
shit.
then the other thing that one of my brothers pointed out is that in Homecoming, Tony Stark tells him, you know, if these people die, it's on you, but if you die, it's on me. So when Tony saw him dying, it was Tony Stark's responsibility. So that was like,
if you want an extra kick in the gut,
let's do it.
In the start of the movie, Tony said, "I dreamt that we had a kid," and it's just like it's in his dream. He just sees his kid fading away from him, but it's really reality.
yeah.
And someone he sees as a, you know what? Fun fact. Is it a fun fact?
Can it be fun?
A fun fact is props to Tom Holland, because did you know that entire death scene was improvised?
Yeah.
So when they were shooting his death scene, all the Russo brothers told Tom Holland was, okay, Peter's gonna fade away, but he doesn't want to die. That's all. That's all the direction that he gave him, and he went all the way with, I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Please, I don't want to go. And then he collapses and he just says, I'm sorry, and then he just fades away. Brilliant.
Can I just say that, Peter Parker was the only one that looked like he was in pain.
Yeah.
When he was fading.
Actually, they were. You want to
Good. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I gave one fun fact. You can get it.
Okay.
This
better be fun.
I was chatting with some friends when PWR wrestler Redrick Mahaba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that because everyone's like, how come Peter faded slower or something? He said that he knew he was fading because he has spider sense.
Spider-Sense.
So he knew it before. Like the other guys were just like, oh, I'm starting to disappear, but Peter knew it before he started.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
That's why his whole body was telling him that, dude, you're about to be erased from your existence. So it's just like,
Jesus Christ. Oh, good lord.
Okay. Saddest moment for me, of course, Spider-Man fading aside, probably has to be, again, as you mentioned earlier, Scarlet Witch thinking she did the bravest thing, the most difficult thing, which was to kill Vision to save the world. Only to watch Thanos use the time stone to hit rewind on the VCR and do it all over again in 1080p. My goodness. And then,
I feel like that wasn't sad, that was just sadistic for me. That was just like, oh, I don't want to see this again.
That's like Game of Thrones level depressing. To the point where when she started fading, she almost looked happy.
She got peace because she's like, I'm done here.
Like, I tap out. GG's Thanos.
And all these sad scenes happened like
At
after each other. It's like
you're just like, what? You're just getting beaten down with sad scenes. Oh, jeez, it was so bad. The cinema, everyone was just deflating after that. I think once Spider-Man just faded, everyone just like, yep.
Yeah. How about you, Watch?
You kind of just hit the nail on the head. I'm still rooting for Falcon. Nobody noticed. I noticed you faded away, sir. Rhodey's still looking for you.
All right, so we got the saddest moments out of the way, and thankfully it ended with a laugh, or at least kind of a little bit. Let's go into the future. Let's look ahead. Let's look at the theories that have been thrown around. So as we know, Avengers Infinity War did end with Thanos winning. Thanos did successfully do what he wanted to do, which was to wipe out half of all life in the universe. Now, people are wondering, what's next? What's going to happen in May 2019 when Avengers 4 comes up? Who is going to save them now? Let's start with some theories. Watch, how about you go first?
Sorry, I was going to add, where's the Wasp?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's part of it.
and Hawkeye.
Hawkeye as well. Well, okay, I've scoured through the internet. When I mean internet, I looked at Nerdist. So one of the theories that came out is, one of the booking things that came out, if you're thinking about it, is maybe they're actually really going to go with this bold decision and just fade these characters out. Because
like just in the middle of their movie.
There's no. There's still going to be a Black Panther movie, but in the comics, Shuri actually took the mantle at one point of being a Black Panther, and we don't know what happened to Shuri, right? Captain America, like somebody has to has to replace Steve Rogers. Who better to replace him than Hawkeye? Someone that can actually use the shield the right way and can actually aim. Hawkeye. Why? No, he actually took the mantle at one point in the comic books. Yeah. Like, he actually took the shield, so that's why he's not there. Again, this is just ridiculous booking.
It's ridiculous.
If you go past, and with Spider-Man, they might as well put Miles Morales, you know?
Oh, that's true. I would not mind that. Or his Filipino best friend.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. What was his name?
Ned.
There you go. Thank you.
But they did say that where the thing's going to go is, in the endgame theory, is that the reason why Doctor Strange actually wanted to save Tony Stark is because Thanos and Tony Stark actually have a connection together. And the reason in the comic books, Nebula was the one that took over and got the Infinity Gauntlet and actually, force Thanos to like reverse everything.
Okay.
So I think there's a mix of Nebula and.
Hopefully that doesn't happen in the movie, or else we just spoiled Avengers 4 for you.
Oh jeez. Again, spoiler talk, but yeah, again, this is just the theory where it's gonna head.
Yeah.
That's why they're stuck on Titan. They gotta get out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Nebula and Tony Stark are probably gonna come up with a plan.
Are they the only two?
They're the only two left in
Titan.
Titan.
Well, as far as we know.
Okay.
But yeah, the after effects of that battle did just leave Tony and Nebula on that planet. So that's your official theory.
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely gonna do something with Tony and Nebula because they're the only ones there, and I do feel like, I mean, wouldn't it be a good character arc for Tony to be at peace, like to actually just save all the Avengers? Because it's like the Phase 1 or the original Avengers saving the ones that were supposed to replace them.
Yeah.
Then once they do that, they can finally retire at peace because they finally like passed on the mantle.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know if there are any more deaths in Infinity War 2.
I'm pretty sure there will still be some, but Mal, what do you think?
Again, touching on the thing that Doctor Strange gave up the Infinity Stone, right, to Thanos, and that was kind of like he said that he saw how many?
All
14 million
whatever.
something. Yeah.
And then it's like there's only one that we survived. So he saw that in the one that they survived, Thanos completed the gauntlet. So I feel like he knows that everyone's, half the people are going to disappear and all that stuff, but it's a necessary step in order to restore things.
So I forgot to add, because Kevin Feige did have an interview, and he said that everyone that did die will remain dead. Like, that's what he said. Probably talking about Loki, Gamora, was that Heimdall from Heimdall. Yeah, but people that faded, they're not necessarily dead, because if you do some research with the Soul Stone, they're probably in the Soul realm.
Yeah, because there's like a dimension, soul dimension inside the soul.
Also, might be major spoilers. So
again, we're talking about theories. We'll see.
But then, I mean, if it is taken from the comic world, this could very well be true. So we might have to just put a warning right there.
Yeah, let's just put some spoilers.
There's a lot of different
interpretation.
No, a lot of different sources that they take from. Because there's 3 Infinity comics, right? There's Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, and Infinity something. And then there was a recent one just called Avengers Infinity. So they took like aspects from all of those and kind of mashed them together. So there's a lot that we don't know what they're taking from.
Gotcha.
And I feel like, that is a valid point, because I'm pretty sure they thought of this with the comic readers in mind. They know that if we make the Infinity War movie just like the Infinity War Gauntlet Arc, Infinity Gauntlet Arc, like page per page copy, they're gonna know what happened. So we have to switch it up in one way or another. So whatever we're talking about here, it could very well, it's most likely gonna differ wildly from the actual final product.
In Infinity Gauntlet, I think it was Adam Warlock who was like the main guy who helped them beat Thanos. But they said, I think Kevin Feige said that they are not going to be using Adam Warlock until Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay.
So they're not going that route.
And Captain America's supposed to be dead at this point.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
exactly, right?
He was supposed to die in Civil War.
He was.
That's what a lot of people thought. So your boy's still alive, though. I'm so happy.
Yeah. That's seen in the movie for him.
Personally, my theory, though, is just not based on the comics or anything. I feel like again, as Mao said, they're probably stuck in some alternate universe as opposed to dead.
You know, I have a feeling Doctor Strange actually wanted to go to the realm, because I feel like he's the most adept with different realms.
And I feel like my theories are kind of somewhat close to yours and Potch's as well, because I do believe that they're not completely dead, but just stuck in some alternate universe, and I do believe that the original Avengers, who are the only ones remaining alive from the crew, except Rocket Raccoon, they're going to be the ones to have to finish the fight they started in Avengers 1.
Can I just say there's some with Rocket Raccoon, when Peter Quill was like, you just don't want to face Thanos. They said that, right? And now he has to face Thanos.
He's the only one from the Guardians who has to actually face him.
So that's a little...
He's the only one left.
Well, him and Nebula.
Yeah,
but Nebula's not good.
Honorary member. Let's see how that plays out. So that is those are our official theories. I mean, of course, set photos aside, because there have been set photos released from Avengers 4, so we're not going to touch on that because those officially are spoiler territory.
Yeah, they're all dead. Just saying.
They're
dead.
Set photos, it's a graveyard. They're all just in a graveyard right now.
Yeah, but again, a lot of it's going to take place in Captain Marvel. right? So a lot of because we only have 2 movies before the next Avengers, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel. And Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place
pre
or in the middle.
Yeah,
of
we're
Infinity
not
War.
sure yet.
And Captain Marvel is supposed to be like
way back, right?
way back, like in the 90s.
Like in the yeah.
But because of the end credit scene, it seems like she's really going to be a pivotal point.
Exactly.
To the movies. So that's probably gonna.
But yeah, the Ant-Man and the Wasp. I really feel like the trailer just dropped today. So I feel like Marvel kind of knew that it was gonna be a huge downer. So they're like, what better way to lift everyone's spirits than Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are gonna sleep on this movie, but I feel like you need to watch this movie because they're gonna be delving into the quantum realm. Okay. So. And I feel like once, I got the spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I believe there's a theory going around that, they're going to delve into quantum realm, but once they jump out of it, everyone, it's Infinity War, everyone passed, time passed already or something. And then, also, Thanos has no control over the quantum realm. So I think you guys should do your research there.
Because he didn't get the quantum stone. Why didn't you get the quantum stone?
Yeah, so, I don't know if that's real. But so I have a feeling they're definitely, Ant-Man and the Wasp are going to play a huge role. My bet is on them to play a huge role in the next Avengers movie.
And it's pretty cool because you wouldn't think so based on the trailer because they have their own story going on.
Yeah, and it's another heist.
It just feels like another setup movie.
A palate cleanser. We need that because it's just so...
But which is pretty cool because after Infinity War, people just want more of the Infinity War storyline. And what better way to promote a movie like Ant-Man and the Wasp than putting it right after Infinity War when you're just desperate for any kind of addition or development, and that's what people are going to go see.
Do you guys think any of the Marvel superheroes will make a cameo in Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you
don't think so?
I mean, all of them were in Avengers.
Yeah, but this happened before Infinity War, so they're technically still all alive.
I think maybe Hawkeye.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe Hawkeye.
Yeah, I have a feeling maybe Steve Rogers is going to recruit him again, at the end of Infinity War.
True, yeah.
We'll see.
Another theory was that in the next Avengers, we're going to see Hawkeye again, but Hawkeye as a completely different, darker, more broken man, because the theory states that his family completely disappeared. He had to give up everything just to be with his family. And then take that all away, and you have a Hawkeye who just wants to put an arrow through Thanos' head. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he will be the one to save the day.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who do you think is going to save the day in the next Infinity War?
Baku.
It's challenge day. For the Gauntlet.
1v1s.
Yeah, 1v1. Let's go.
That's the dream.
That waterfall.
That is the dream, though. I would love it for it to be Nebula. Because if there's anybody who has been fucked over by Thanos worse than the entire universe, then it's Nebula.
For me, let's go with Thor. I'm gonna go with Thor. I feel like he needs to use that axe really badly.
Yeah, he needs the W.
And he said, he just, I'll kill you. He swore.
Yeah.
Aim for the head next time. Thor. Or the hand. Anything.
That's true, yeah. I mean, you know what the gauntlet does, so why didn't you aim for it? But anyway, we're talking hypotheticals. I want to close the theory discussion and go on to something a little bit more separated from the film itself. Let's talk about everybody's reaction to the movie.
Right.
And I want to talk specifically about, crazy spoilers going around Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. And it's not even... It's come to the point where people think they're being clever by sharing spoilers without context. Like people will still know what I'm getting a little flustered and
you know Renzo, he hates spoilers. This is one of the greatest sin.
A week?
Yeah,
it's only been out a week.
Yeah, and then there's so much. And in one of those spoiler without context, there's a picture of Peter Dinklage. Goddamn.
That is a spoiler.
That is a spoiler in itself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And I don't know. It's just I feel like this movie is 10 years in the making. If you ruin someone's experience,
that's me.
Yeah, that's really me. Come on, guys.
And it's like you don't have to share it. Like that's the thing. You don't have to. I mean, you can talk about it with your friends and
you can private message them.
Yeah, like everyone's got a chat group that's like Avengers Infinity War discussion, right? You send it there.
Because we know how much fun it is to talk about Avengers Infinity War.
We're doing it now.
Case in point, it's so much fun. But don't ruin it for everybody else by just openly talking about it and assuming everybody has seen it. And there are also people, a special brand of people who are so adamant about spoilers. Don't spoil Infinity War. Don't spoil Infinity War. As soon as they see it, sharing all the spoilers on their timeline.
You're the very thing you hate. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Spoilers.
Okay, so like how long would you say is safe before you can start speaking freely?
With a movie in this magnitude, I always have to ask, did you watch it? I hope I will never spoil this movie. I hope I will never. Like, just like Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like, how long did it take you before you started talking publicly about Star Wars Force Awakens? Because that was another one that everyone was like, no spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah, my brother hasn't seen it. Like, he only saw it before he watched Last Jedi. And he stayed away from spoilers. So I'm like, all right, cool. If you haven't seen it yet, yeah, go watch it. Like, because I mean, like, it's a movie, it's an experience. And if you rob someone of that experience, you're just a dick. Like, come on.
Botch doesn't make a good point. At the end of the day, I feel like, I mean, while there is, I'm pretty sure there will be a agreed upon appropriate time for it to be okay to talk about it. I'd say personally maybe about 2 or 3 weekends, because then you've got 3 weekends to watch it. Why didn't you take the chance?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's always just better. It's always just more polite to ask, have you seen the movie? And it's always better to, if you're talking about it in public, keep a hush tone.
Exactly. And if on social media, if you have to talk about it, put spoiler tags. You have to just like spoiler, then enter. Then you have to like read more.
Yeah.
And, like, do that.
You know that thing where there's like mature content and you have to click the photo?
That's good.
They should do something like that for spoilers.
Yo, Mark Zuckerberg.
Or just always add
something.
Always add pornography to the photo that you're planning to
Yeah,
post when it comes to
boobs.
Yeah, so it gets
Besides Spider-Man's death. Oh, it's so sad. Yeah, just do that. Like, I mean, again, we're speaking of an experience. Would you rob someone of their first kiss? Would you rob someone the first chance they watch all these characters, these larger-than-life characters, who I can say, like, they got casted perfectly well.
Yeah, they did.
Just be on screen for the first time ever and spoil lines like, why is Gamora? Like, come on, like, just let them, like, watch it.
See it for the first time,
See
exactly.
it for the first time.
And with that, does anybody else have anything to add about Infinity War? Any final messages?
Justice League, get your act together. Come on, they did Alien, Purple Alien, better than Justice League with Stephen Wolf. Like, yeah. But it was, this, if you compare the two movies, Marvel just did it right.
Yeah.
Goddamn, it wasn't even a contest at this point.
How about you, Mel?
No, I'm good.
Nothing left to say other than MCU, Marvel Studios. You have yourself one hell of a movie, and it's probably, I'm calling it now, it's going to be the highest grossing movie of all time, because people are going to be seeing this twice and thrice over. You guys plan to see it again. You go and see it once.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to watch it. Oh, something to add. I got to watch it in IMAX.
Right.
And this is the first movie that was filmed entirely with IMAX cameras.
Wow.
So the whole thing was,
Fun fact.
IMAX dimension. So that was super cool. And the 3D was really nice as well. So it's a really good thing that you should see it in IMAX if you want to see it a second time.
There you go. Well, folks, if you have only seen it once, we suggest you go see it a second time, maybe even a third time, because there are a lot of things that you may have missed on your first watch. It's always fun to watch it again. And trust me, as someone who has seen it 2 times already, it does not get old. And just, it's fun looking back at the audience during certain moments. It's just hilarious seeing their faces. But again, at the end of the day, amazing movie, lots of twists and turns. The future for Marvel is looking bright and hopeful, and we're hoping for the best when it comes to Ant-Man and the Wasp, also with Captain Marvel. Only good things, and of course you'll hear the first and the latest at Something Something Movies. And of course you can follow our Facebook. It's facebook.com/something_squared, and hit us up on YouTube. It's Something Something Movies. Scroll down a lot past all the Indian movies, and then wait until you see Something Something Movies.
Friends of Watch Mao, anyone, just please, movie quickies.
Yeah, there you go. Again, my name is Renzo, this is Mao, and this is Poch. We are Something Something Movies, and this has been the Avengers Infinity War discussion. And as always, we'll see you again next time, you filthy casuals.